What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to G-Ball Vision. Today I have for you guys some of my favorite new knives that have just recently come into the channel. Before we get started, double check and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I would love to have you here. And before you head out, do me a huge favor, hit that thumbs up button. Greatly appreciate it, everyone. Feel free to let me know what you are carrying in your pockets today down in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. So let's kick this video off with the CJRB Prado and Ray Laconico. CJRB, they just did it again. They put out the Echo last year, and that kind of echoed through the whole year, and it's still trickling into 2024. But I think this new Prado and crossbar lock is starting to kind of take over from the Echo. And this is going to be a full-size knife coming in RPM 9. We have a nice belt satin finish, more of a clip point style blade. We have a pill-shaped hole cut out there, and then we have CJRB's crossbar lock, which the two examples that I've had in or that I've got from CJRB, they are extremely well-tuned, nice springs, good closing action, good access. They have a couple different variations of textured G10 that you can get, and I think they have a wood one as well. Nice deep carry clip there. It's going to be reversible, and like I said, full-size knife, guys. I'm a big fan of Ray Laconico, and I'm also a really big fan of the Prado. And all of these knives, guys, have full unboxings. I will try to link each one up in a card. I'll leave a couple at the end of the video on some of the videos that you can check out there at the end. We're going to pick up with the Veed On Kilo, probably my favorite knife to come into the channel in a very long time. I love innovation, I love new locks, and Veed is kind of at the cutting edge when it comes to innovating these pocket knives. The On Kilo here is sporting the anchor lock, which is a pivot style lock. And there is a full video up of this knife on the channel. I'll link that up in a card as well. We're getting LMAX steel. This is going to be a prototype, so there are some changes that could occur. I'm not aware of what they are, but there could be, so just keep that in mind. The Kickstarter is going right now and is fully funded at this point in time. So you have no worries about going and picking one of these up. We have a nice cutout front flipper and rear flipper, and they all are very satisfying to use. The button for disengagement is very nice, very tactile feeling, and there's plenty of surface area where you don't feel like, you know, you're trying to find or locate that little button. You basically have that whole pivot there that you can push down in, and then this thing is free floating, nice and smooth. We have textured aluminum handles that have been anodized. There are a couple of different colors you can pick up. And then we have Veed's standard pocket clip there, deep carry, rollover clip. It's lower mounted. You have a little bit poking out of the pocket there, but not much. Little lanyard tube for your lanyard fans. Absolutely love this knife, guys. I'm a huge fan of this, and I've been saying it for the last couple of weeks. Before I even got this knife in, pivot locks are going to kind of take over as the primary locking mechanism within the next year or so. I'm calling it. Every company, everywhere will be putting out these pivot locks. Next up, we have the Concept Egress, and this, I've been trying to think about it. It's kind of a tie between this and the Main Street, but I think I might even prefer this over the Main Street as my favorite affordable concept model. I've just really fallen in love with this knife since I got it in, and now it's coming in 14C 28N, which is just brilliant. We have a coated Wharncliffe blade, and it is nice and tall, and it comes down pretty damn thin behind the edge. We still have a nice pokey tip. They give you a couple spots of jimping for your different grips. Cutout and front flipper for deployment. The detent is tuned very well, guys, and the closing action is insane. This blade is pretty heavy, and they were able to tune these to the point where it's got a very controlled closing action. It is ridiculous. A lot of times you get a knife like this with a heavier blade and that thing is like a guillotine, but in the case of this, it's very smooth. But man, is it a controlled, nice drop. Love it. That's how I prefer my knives. We have a little bit skinnier of a handle, which is a very nice design touch. I like it. I can still get a full comfortable grip in the standard grip, and you can choke up right behind that edge for a lot of control over your blade. You can also get up there on the tip for those precise type cuts. Textured G10, brass anodized hardware, G10 backspacer, hidden lanyard post. It is only going to be tooled for righties, but these come in under $60, guys. On Concept's website, I will have as many of these knives linked down below as I can, but this is well worth $57, $58 that it comes in at. Well worth it, guys. If you like this design, I think you will be very happy if you were to pick one of these up. And yes, believe it or not, I am putting a Schrade on this list. There are a couple changes I'd love to see on this knife, some changes I would like to see, but as it sits, I really enjoy this knife, more of like a secondary carry for me. But we're going to be getting S35VN. We have this kind of gray, I don't know if it's a DLC, I think it is, but don't hold me to that. It's like a gray DLC, Tanto style blade. We have dual thumb studs for the deployment. Schrade's crossbar locks are done very well, guys. Nice strong springs, good protrusion on those tabs, easy to get to, easy to disengage, and this thing makes this crazy noise. Let's see if we can pick it up. I don't know if the microphone will pick it up, but when it opens, it makes this like, it's awesome, guys. It sounds really good for a crossbar lock. Thwacks out of there. This is more of a secondary, like I said, but I can still get a nice full grip on this guy. We have steel bolsters, and then we have this textured G10. I think this is a great looking knife. We have open construction, couple of standoffs, a deep carry clip. I'd like to see some, for the price point of these, being USA made, I think it's a fair price to ask for a USA made knife. I would like to see titanium here, and then I'd like to see some different secondary materials for the handle as well. Some micartos, maybe some carbon fibers, some tweaking on this design. And refining this, man, would Schrade really have something here. They already got a good foundation. If they made a couple of tweaks to this, a couple of additions, they would really have a good solid ground to kind of work out from. I'm rooting for Schrade, and I hope they continue, what they're doing and continue heading down the right path. So yes, believe it or not, I do have a traditional or two on the list for my traditional fans out there, as few as that may be. We're talking about the traditional pocket knives, newest slip joint here. And guys, you want to talk about a full-size knife? This thing is absolutely ridiculous, guys. We have a nice big handle. We have this sheep's foot style of blade that came with a couple of different iterations. I think drop point, clip point, sheep's foot, or maybe it wasn't drop point, clip point, sheep's foot, Warncliffe, something like that. So, and you could kind of pick your poison with those. We have a beautiful belt satin finish, M390. QSP is the OEM for these guys, and QSP is kind of leading the pack when it comes to high production slip joints. great walk and talk, nice tactile pops on the open and the close. Just very, very satisfying. They did titanium bolsters, and then there was a bunch of different options when it came to the secondary material, carbon fiber, micarta. I think he did all titanium versions where there was texturing, smooth versions. Very well executed from QSP and traditional pocket knives. The Lake Champlain Barlow is absolutely outstanding if you're looking for that more premium slip joint, but you don't want to break the bank. This is where I would go right here, or its brother, the Ohio River Jack. Two of the best slip joints for the money that you can get, in my opinion, and I will have links for this down below, as well as a coupon for a couple of dollars off of it if that's something you're interested in picking up. And like I said, guys, we do have a couple of traditional styles slip joints here. This is the Real Steel Barlow, and I really like this knife. It's not, I prefer locking knives, but there's something to be said about slip joints. They've been getting the job done for, over a century. And there's a reason for that. It's because they work. Is a locking knife a little safer? Of course, but there's definitely still a place for traditional slip joint style of knives. And what Real Steel did here with the Barlow or the RB5, you can type in either one and it'll pop up. But they did 2 or 3 different blade shapes. This is more of the clip point. N690 on the steel. It's an adequate steel, especially at the price point. We have a nice satin finish. We have a nice little pull there. The walk and talk is considerably very good. I would say about a 6 or so, and these are going to come in at a very affordable price, like $60 or so. And the other awesome thing about this is how modular or customizable these are. They offer a ton of different scales that you can get: red, tan, jade, orange, black, white, a ton of different colors, guys, and it's a matter of taking off one screw on each side. You also have a removable deep carry clip here, and if you were to take that off, you would not bother the aesthetic of the knife whatsoever. So if you prefer the clip, you can keep it on. If you prefer it without the clip, you can take it off. So a very nice touch from Real Steel. I like the innovation into a more modern traditional knife, giving people a lot of options and abilities with the knife. Next up, we're moving to the SRM 722 8B, and this is going to be coming in 14C28N with a textured aluminum handle. We have this nice tall drop point style blade. It just looks mean, very comfortable in hand because you have this taco style frame here, basically an integral one solid piece of steel that's been folded over, and that's going to act like a full length backspacer, which is going to add to the ergonomics of this knife, making it very comfortable. The 14C is going to do extremely well in its durability and its corrosion resistance. Also going to be very easy to touch up. I've become a huge fan since checking out some of my first SRMs. The crossbar lock is done very, very well on these guys. They have a lot of potential. They really remind me of Real Steel with what they do and what they put out. Really reminds me of Real Steel. SRM and Real Steel have become two of my, don't take your eyes off of them type companies, because at any minute they could really explode with an awesome model. We have an ultra deep carry clip that'll be reversible there. Just an awesome option from SRM. And like I said, guys, I've become a huge fan of them. You'll have to let me know, what are some of your favorite more recent pickups that you have gotten in? I love hearing from you guys. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Love it when you do that, baby. And if you are new here, We release videos every single day on knives and EDC gear, so hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you here. I'll throw up a couple of new videos. Go check one of them out. Otherwise, guys, have an awesome day, and I will catch you on the next one.